Good morning, everybody, and good evening. I'm Suzana Mihajlovic, and this is the incredible Makini Smith. As you know, we've come together and have co-created a beautiful workshop, a beautiful community for women all over the world to come and join us. So we have a very, very special event for you, and that is today and tomorrow. And we want to go deeper in helping you renew your mind. So remember, we can see your comments in the Facebook group, and we want this to be interactive. We want the community to come together. We want you all to get to know each other. We want to create a really strong community in the next 2 days. So what I would suggest, if you can see the link above where this is, so just the link above, if you can click on that link, it will show me your name. It will show us your name as you comment. So I can see that Anne Carr is in the room. She says, good morning, beautiful people. And also another Facebook user, I can't see your name. Good evening, whoever you are. If you want to click on the link, we'll be able to see your name, and we'll be able to communicate with you. So this is a 1-hour event for today and an hour tomorrow. We've also got some exciting ideas that we would love to share with you in the future. We want to make these workshops regular for you. The next one will be on the 1st and the 2nd of December. So anybody in the Renewing Your Mind Facebook group will be invited to that. You'll be able to get some more information. Hi, Makisha Boyd. There's another Facebook user that says good evening. Good evening. Just if you want to just click on the link above, and we'll be able to see your name. So we want this to be interactive. Ask your questions, comment. This is about us all working together. And we're going to share some really, really, important and powerful ideas with you. I can see that there are people from the Your Two Minds community. Anne is already here, and I'm sure from Makini's community too. So some of these ideas might not be new to you, or for some of you, they might be new. So we ask that you get your workbook ready, just your notebook in front of you. We haven't sent a workbook as such, but if you just want to get your notebook ready, if you are a note taker, take some notes. If you're not, sit back and enjoy. And, we ask you to just open your mind to the ideas that we're going to share, and let's have some fun. At the end of the 2 sessions, we have a strategy call that we're going to offer you all to see how we work. It's an opportunity for you to go a little bit deeper, but also experience how we work. So that's coming up for you as of tomorrow. If you wanted to book a session with us, just reach out to us personally, DM us, and we can book you in for that. But let's get started. Let's have just an incredible time together. We are both looking forward to learning more about you. Tell me in the comment box if you are ready to renew your mind. Say, I'm ready. I want to see your comments. I want to see your input, and I want to see who you are also. Tell me that you're ready. I'm ready. So, open your mind, fully focused, and what we're going to be doing, we're going to be starting with the current situation. Makini will start off with that. We believe that we need to acknowledge where we are at now in order for us to move forward and change anything. And for most people, it's been a pretty challenging time. So rather than push it aside and try to create something, even though you're not feeling great, it's very important, we believe, that we start with acknowledging and honouring where you're at. The recordings to this workshop will be in the guide section in this group. They'll stay in the group for the next week. Okay, so you can watch and rewatch. If you find value, you can rewatch and rewatch. Ask your friends if you're finding value, invite them to come along and join our community. So there's a Facebook user that says, I am ready. Makisha is, I am ready. Who else is ready? Tell us that you're ready. I'm going to hand it over to Makini now, and we're going to start with your present moment.
Thank you, Suzana. Thank you for that beautiful opening. Welcome, 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 everyone who is in North America, Australia, wherever you are logging in from, whether it's morning or evening, welcome, welcome. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Makini Smith, and it is an honor to be here this evening to present and to share with all of you. Suzana and I have, if you've been paying attention in the group, we've collaborated to just help provide tips, tools, and resources at this time. And like Suzana just said, we want to start with the present moment. We want to start with honoring where you are now. So I just ask that you take a second to open up your mind, because a closed mind cannot accept new ideas. And we want to make sure that you are able to receive everything that we have to share with you here today. My first question for you is, where are you now? I want you to write in the comments what you are feeling today. How are you feeling? Like, what is your present state of mind? Let's see where everybody is right now, and we'll get in further into honoring this moment. Good evening, ladies watching from Toronto, West End, Etobicoke area. Welcome. So there's so much happening in the world right now. Like, our brains are not designed to deal with so much uncertainty for this long of a time. People are feeling stressed and overwhelmed and anxious, and it's become our new norm. There's so much happening, but we're all being pretty much, we're not giving ourselves grace. We're being hard on ourselves, but it's, with everything that is happening, it's hard to have the capacity to function like we normally do. A lot of us are feeling like we're functioning slower or not at the pace that we're used to doing things. I just want you to give yourself some grace. I know that what we focus on grows, and I don't believe in contributing to toxic positivity. So I'm not going to say only focus on the light. We do have to acknowledge the dark, the shadow, the things that we may not necessarily want to deal with in order to be able to move on and evolve and move forward. Have we lost Suzana? Makisha said, I would say I have a calm curiosity as it pertains to my limits and capacity. Thank you for sharing, Makisha. I want you guys to continue to share in the comments. We want to make this as interactive as possible. I don't want to be talking at you. I want to talk with you. So let's take a second. If anyone else wants to share in the comments where they are presently, what they're feeling, your feelings are valid. How you're feeling this very moment. Our feelings are data. Our feelings are data. Like, how we are feeling needs to be assessed. One, if we don't recognize our own emotions or those of others, like, what are we doing with that information? We need to be able to understand how we're feeling so that we can connect with other people and understand how they're feeling as well, to have some empathy and compassion. So look at your present state, look at what you're feeling. What is the source of that? Where are those feelings coming from? I want you to label your emotions, because those labels are explaining the vibration that you are on. If you are sad, you're in a low vibration. If you're excited, you're in a high vibration. So us being able to acknowledge our feelings, which are just labels for the vibration that we're on, can help us to function. It can help us to regulate. Someone says they're perplexed yet hopeful. Okay, I would love if you could explain a little further what that means. What does that mean for you? All right, so being able to regulate our emotions, rather than have them regulate us, we have the power to control ourselves. When these emotions come up, their emotions they're not permanent. So I want you to think about that. We may be in a state right now, but just know that it is not permanent. I saw another comment there. Okay. So the reason why I want you to acknowledge where you are presently and to label your feelings is so that we don't suppress them. We're acknowledging them so that we can express them, because unexpressed feelings can pile up like bad debt. You don't want to do that. When we have all these feelings that we're not acknowledging or not expressing, we suppress them. And when we start to suppress our feelings, that causes things like depression. It causes anger and outbursts and all these things because we've tucked them deep down. We need to be able to process these feelings. There are a few things that I want to share with you in terms of tools that you can use for self-care and replenishment to help you to process your feelings. When it comes to self-care, I've broken it down for myself into mind, body, and soul. So I'll give you 3 things for each to help you to get through these uncertain times. So I want you to get your pens and papers ready. So when it comes to the mind, some things that I do for self-care that have been tremendous help for me is, one, making sure that I am reading every single day. I'm keeping my mind renewed. I'm exercising my brain and reading things every day, whether that be an article, a book, whatever it is, but I'm making sure that I'm reading something every day. I try to commit to whether it be 20 minutes a day or 10 pages a day of a book, but making sure that I'm consistently keeping up with educating myself and keeping my mind sharp. Number 2 for the mind is, what I do is I listen to soothing music that helps me to feel good. For those who go to church, when you're going to church and they're playing music in the beginning, they're setting the atmosphere. If you go to an event, they've got music playing, they're setting the atmosphere. So how are you setting the atmosphere that you are in? And number 3 for the mind, I spend a lot of time alone to eliminate outside distractions, especially when there is so much happening in the world. There can be distractions coming in left, right, and center from the news and other people. And, you're absorbing other people's feelings and emotions and thoughts and ideas. But when you spend time alone and you are still, you're able to hear God clearer, but you're able to also hear yourself and acknowledge your own thoughts and your own feelings without the interruptions from other people. Now, in terms of self-care for the body, I've always got my water somewhere close, making sure that I'm sipping on water throughout the day, whether you're someone who believes in, gulping it back at one time or sipping on, 1 gallon throughout the day. It's just, our bodies are mostly water. So it needs to be replenished. We need to be refreshed in order for us to function. And the second thing in terms of resetting and helping the body is to make sure that you get enough sleep. Now, I used to be one of those people that was like, team no sleep, hustle hard, play hard, but I do not believe in that anymore. I'm 100% team self-care. And I know from myself personally that I need a minimum 7 hours and 20 minutes every night of sleep or I cannot function. So whether for you that be 8 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours, whatever that is, making sure that you're getting enough sleep. That helps your body to reset, to restore. People don't realize how important it is to sleep. That's when your body gets to recharge and do all the things that it needs to do to function. And then number 3 for self-care is staying physically active. So when we think about going through this present time, those of us who are, struggling with whatever it is that you're struggling with, those emotions, those feelings need to go somewhere. So healthy motion equals healthy emotion. So I make sure personally that I'm doing my best to get in 6,000 to 10,000 steps a day. So I'm moving, I'm keeping that energy moving, because if we are not moving, we could, sit in a slump, with our emotions and not processing, not getting that energy and that vibration moving. And then for the soul, number 1, prayer, prayer, conversations with God. That is like one of the biggest ones for me. So prayer and meditation. Meditation is really just being still, calming your nervous system, being still and listening. You know, I feel like prayer is talking to God, and when you're in meditation, you're being still listening. And then number 2 for your soul is prayer and gratitude and affirmations. I am very big on actively practicing gratitude. You know, we can say that we're grateful for something, but if you're not actively on a daily basis, intentionally practicing gratitude, because when we're practicing gratitude, we're connecting to our feelings. We're connecting to how we feel about those things. So it's putting us in a higher vibration, showing appreciation. If I say that I'm grateful for Suzana, why am I grateful for Suzana? I'm grateful for her support and her love and, you know, our ability to co-create things. So when we connect feeling to the things that we're grateful for, it helps to shift our perspective in our mind. And affirmations, you know, declaring things and speaking things into existence. And then third for the soul is having a community of healthy connections. You know, we don't give enough weight. We don't give enough weight or enough appreciation to having healthy connections, to having people around us that love and support us, to help regulate our nervous system. You know, as people, we're constantly searching for connection. And when we have a healthy community of connections, not only does that help us with our self-care, but that helps us mentally. It helps to regulate us. It helps us, social proofing, when we're able to have conversations in safe spaces where we can, you know, connect with one another. We're wired for connection. Like, connection is like a biological imperative, which basically means that, you know, it's our need. It's required for our prolonged existence. We need it to survive. And we've been in a time where we've been forced to isolate and forced to be by ourselves, but we're not programmed that way. So we're going to do a quick little exercise. I want you to take a moment and think about all the people that are around you. And we're going to put them into two main categories. There are people who we connect with for support, and there are people that we connect with just to feel connected. And there may be people that fall into both categories. So I want you to notice the people that you think about. What category do they fall into? Make a list of everyone that is in your inner circle. And when you think of them, are they someone that you connect with for support, or someone that makes you feel connection? Or is it both? So who is in your social support network? Write a list of those people. And what category do they fall into? Who do you feel socially connected to? I see a comment here. New mom, so in the world of motherhood is all new to me and can sometimes be confusing. I also realized I have more work to do in myself in order to be a mother my child needs me to be. So me showing up here today is the start of this hope, the willingness to do the work to reach the best version of myself. I can't see the name of who wrote that, but thank you so much for sharing and for your transparency. And, you know, you should definitely be proud of yourself and congratulate yourself, like you said, just for showing up.
So that was Agnes. I went into my phone just to see who that person was. Agnes, if you wanted to click the link above, we'd be able to see your name. From our perspective, we can only see Facebook user. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Agnes, for sharing. Thank you so much. Okay, I want you guys to, I'm going to ask you 3 quick questions. And we're going to separate them on a scale of hardly ever, sometimes, or often. Okay? How often do you feel that you lack companionship? Hardly ever, sometimes, or often? How often do you feel left out? Hardly ever, sometimes, or often? And how often do you feel isolated from others? Hardly ever, sometimes, or often? I want you to take a look at your answers to those 3 questions. That is going to give you an indication of what needs to be worked on, because survival is dependent on opportunities to successfully co-regulate. So that's going to let you know what needs to be worked on. So I want you to think about the questions that I've asked. Think about what that information is telling you. Think about what needs to change. Our results in life are based on our actions, but our actions are based on how we feel. I am going to pass it over to Suzana, and we're going to get more into the truth of who we are and our spiritual DNA, because honestly, with a lot of us, like I mentioned before, feeling all of these feelings from the uncertainty of the pandemic and dealing with the weight and overall everything that's happening, it's completely connected to our disalignment. Spiritually, when we feel anxious, it's us being energetically out of alignment. We're not in harmony with spirit. So I'm going to pass it over to Suzana now.
Thank you so, so much, Makini. My God, so much value and so much just in that short time frame. And what a great reminder, even for me, the meditation every single day, just being still, connecting spiritually, and making sure you're moving the emotions out. And so much in that session, how are you socially connected? Where are you getting your support from? How are you feeling right now? Trisha Walters, welcome. Trisha says, my constant tug of war is allowing my feelings to lead when I know better. Yeah, we all are trapped sometimes, or overwhelmed by feelings. And we really thought, and as Makini said, when she started, it's so important to acknowledge and honor where you are at now. So I'm just going to give you just a little bit of time, just a minute, just to write down, have a look at what you've written down. I've written some notes down from Makini also, and just review and really look at what you've got on the page in front of you. If you haven't written anything down, you might not be a note taker. That's okay. Just have a think about what stood out for you, what resonated with you. Are there any challenging emotions coming up for you? I'm just going to give you a moment to do that, and then we're going to go a little bit deeper. We'll move into the next step. So and feel free to comment, to ask questions, to write down the way that you're feeling. Let us know how that segment went. How are you feeling about yourself now? What stood out for you? Just post some comments. When you're done, let us know also. Just really acknowledge and honor where you're at now. What are you grateful for right now? Even though it may be a challenging time for you, it's a challenging time in the world generally. Being a new mum, thank you so much, Agnes, for sharing. It's a challenging time. Trisha, my constant tug of war and my feelings, lead when I know better. How are you? What are you grateful for? Really feel that gratitude. And just comment in the comment box. Let me know where you're at. We're just taking a little bit of time right now because this is really important before we move on. Honor your soul, honor your feelings, let them move through you. We're often told, oh, just be happy, be positive, get on a high vibration. Yeah, sure, we want to be more on a high vibration than not, but sometimes, reality is we are challenged and we are stretched. And we've got to acknowledge and allow those feelings to move through. Okay. So when you're done, I'm just going to ask you just to put your pens down. I'm grateful for support and workshops like these and my friends who hold me up when I am low. Absolutely. And we're grateful to be in this community with you, Tricia. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay. So we've acknowledged where you are, and we need to honor those feelings and what you're experiencing. And at the same time, we don't need to be stuck in those feelings. So let me ask you a question. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? What comes up for you when I say, who do you think you are? Let me know what comes up for you with the question, who do you think you are? You see, when people used to ask me, who are you? Or when I used to contemplate on that question, I used to say, well, I'm Suzana. I'm, a woman in my 30s, 40s. I'm funny. I'm messy. I'm great with people. I'm from a European background, living in Australia, born in Australia. Okay. But that's not what I'm talking about. What if I was to tell you that who you thought you were, if you think you are Makisha or Trisha or Angie or Anne, women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, professional, funny, not funny, smart, not intelligent, beautiful, not beautiful. They are labels that you've learnt and that you've put on yourself, often based on a past experience. Some of them are true, yes, I'm a female, I'm, in my 40s. Not that age matters. Okay, but most of those are labels that we've put on ourselves based on our past experience. What do I mean by that? Well, society, family, childhood experiences tell us ideas about who we should be or who we are based on a circumstance. So you may have grown up in a European family like I have, and migrant family, where life was hard. So you had to study and you had to follow some female, role model behavior. Okay. Or you may have had a trauma in your life. Maybe there was violence in your family growing up. Maybe you grew up in a family that was poor. So you put a label on yourself subconsciously that I can only get so far, that I can't have abundance. Maybe there was an experience at school. You may have had a bad day and you failed a test, even though you were a child. And that was not a nice experience for you. So the teacher Your friends at school labeled you as someone that's not highly intelligent. Maybe you said a joke and someone laughed and you put a label on your personality that you're funny. Okay, so you get the gist, right? So things happen and then we create a label on ourselves that we follow and believe for the rest of our lives. So you may have failed a test when you were a child. And even though your dream was to go to university and study and become something, something big, something that was in your heart, you thought, well, I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I don't have enough money. I'm Suzana. I'm from a European background. Have to work very, very hard. I'm funny. I'm whatever. Let me ask you another question. What if we were able to move all those labels aside, wipe them away? And what if you were able to choose whoever you wanted to be? What if inside you have infinite potential? Have a think about that. What's the definition of infinite? Really open up to this idea. Don't just think about this with your head. Open up. Open up your body, open up your heart, open up your soul to receiving this. Infinite. It means going forever and ever and ever and ever. There's no end to infinite, right? And inside you, what if I said inside you, you had absolute infinite potential? What that means is you're able to tap into anything and be anyone and have anything you want. You see, the truth is, your spiritual DNA is perfect, full stop. You have genius locked up inside you. And some of you know that. You know that on the deep level. But you're stuck with the thinking and programming that always has been. So therefore, you choose to stay with the ideas of who you are rather than opening up to the potential and possibility of who you could be. You see, that child that failed that test or didn't do well, that was traumatized by that, and then decided because of that circumstance, that situation, and because of their peers and significant others telling them they can't do something, that child blocked the potential, the intelligence inside of themselves just by accepting that idea that was not true. So what if you turn that around and accepted the idea, the little seed that I've planted for you, that you, inside you, Makisha, Angie, Agnes, Trisha, Anne, all of you watching this have absolute infinite potential inside yourself. You have genius locked up inside you. How would that change for you? How would your life be different? How would you be feeling about yourself right now? What would you be doing differently? You see, let me back up what I'm saying, okay? Makini and I are not just motivational speakers here to motivate you to do something with your life. It's not something that we've just plucked out and we believe in, so we're going to share with you. Okay? This is not just a belief. This is a knowing. And you know why it's a knowing? Because we have used this information to change our lives. We've tapped into the inner potential inside us to change our lives, and we can help you change yours too. But not only that, there is scientific evidence that this is true. Okay, so this is not just something we have made up. This is actually scientifically researched. This is fact. This is fact. Okay. So what does science show us today about you? So quantum physics, okay, the most recent studies, some of the most recent studies in the past 5-10 years, you know what they say about you? You know what the evidence shows about you? Now open up to this idea, because if it's the first time you're hearing it, it might go over your head. So again, I invite you to open up your mind, open up your body, open up your heart to receiving the truth. And if it goes over your head, that's okay. Okay. You know, this is why we've opened up this group, to help you slowly become aware of who you are. So quantum physics shows us that you, my friend, you are 99.99999. Some studies, some recent studies say 12 nines after that. So you are 99.999999 times 12% energy. And you are 0.00001% physical. So the person that you are saying that you think you are, you know, Trisha, I'm Trisha Walters. I'm in my 20s, 30s. I'm a mother. I'm a businesswoman. I'm not good at maths. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. I can't have this. You know, I'm funny. I'm not funny. The beautiful woman that we see when we see your faces, the physical part of you, is 0.00001% of who you truly are. So you're focused 100% of the time on yourself. That is less than 1% of the truth of who you are. So what is this 99.999%? It is pure, infinite intelligence. What does that mean? It is the energy that has created stars, galaxies, planets. It's created you. It's created everything that we see. Let's go a little bit deeper. So this energy is universal energy. It's the highest form of intelligence. It's God. And that's the truth of who you are. You are not your limits. You are not your limits. You may be experiencing a difficult time right now. I think a lot of people are, including myself, from time to time. But you can choose to stay stuck in what's happening. Or you could choose to tap in to your infinite potential. You could choose to tap in to the power, to the genius of the truth of who you are. Let me tell you one more thing before we move on. So the point of my turn in life, I've always had big dreams, like you. Always wanted to achieve, always wanted to do what I was doing now, always wanted to become a best-selling author. Since I was a kid, as far as I can remember, but there were always blocks. I would achieve some level of success. I did very well in senior management, had a six-figure pay, whatever, but it wasn't it. It wasn't it. There was a bigger purpose. And it was back in 2017, I believe it's when I met the beautiful Makini Smith in Toronto. And she was already a best-selling author, and there was just this beautiful attraction to her. She's just got this beautiful, quiet confidence. And we were at a Bob Proctor training. If you don't know who Bob Proctor is, he's our greatest leader in human potential alive today. And I was at the front of that room, right in front of Bob. And he said something that resonated with every single cell in my body. It went right through me like anything I've never experienced before. So I'm going to invite you to open up to the same idea. So just open up your mind, close your eyes. And he said, "Did you know, Suzana? Did you know Makisha? Did you know Angie? Did you know Agnes? Did you know Anne? Did you know that if you did not exist, Trisha, if you did not exist, the entire universe would be out of alignment. Without you, the whole universe would be out of alignment." If you haven't fallen off your chair, you haven't heard that properly. Without you, the entire universe would be out of alignment. What does that mean? Think about it. The whole universe, it's infinite. It is the most powerful energy that we have ever that exists. It is God, the energy. And if you did not exist, that universe would not be able to function the way it's functioning right now. Without you, there is an important piece of the puzzle missing, and none of us would be able to function without you. Open up. Open up to the truth of who you are. Because one thing I know for sure, I can say that you've been playing small. And it's time to tap in to the truth of who you are. I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds, a moment, just to allow that to sink in. How would your life change if you were able to live from that space every day rather than live from your false lies, your viruses, the limits that you have imposed upon yourself? You have imposed them. They are not true. Makini, over to you, sister.
Wow, Suzana, that was powerful. That was very deep. I hope you ladies took notes. Honestly, my hands are sweaty from you recalling that moment. That statement was very, very powerful. We hear all the time that we were created in God's image. So obviously that means that our spiritual DNA is perfect, but we allow the viruses of doubt and worry and fear to interfere with the vision that we have for our lives. What you just said about the whole universe would be out of alignment without us. I hope you ladies realize how important you are, how important your actions are, how much you matter, how much your stories matter, how much your life matters, the impact, honestly, that was so deep. I have goosebumps. When we think about the vision that we have for our lives, now that Suzana's opened up your mind to possibilities and to the limitations that we've imposed on ourselves, I want you to think, because as people, we think in pictures. The whole world operates on images. Every time we talk about anything, we're using words or gestures to create a specific image in someone else's mind or in our own minds. So I want you to think about the image that you have for your life. What would that look like? What would you like it to be if you weren't focusing on the self-doubt, the worry, the fear, all of those viruses? If you were actually honing in to the truth of who you are, to your greatness, what would you love your life to look like? What vision do you have for yourself? I want you to think in as clear a picture as you possibly can. Where in the world would you love to live? What would that look like? Would it be a house? Would it be an apartment? Would it be a lakefront property? What does that look like for you? What impact do you want to be making in the world? What would you do every single day if you had a choice, if there were no obstacles? What would you like the life for your children to look like? What kind of car do you want to drive? Where do you want to travel? How often do you want to travel? Create that vision for your life. People always talk about creating vision boards, but they're doing it backwards. They're opening up a magazine and cutting out pretty pictures and pasting it onto a board and not really connecting with the vision that they have for their life. What do you want your life to look like? You need to first know the vision that you have for your life. That way, when you go to the magazine, you know specifically what is connected to your truth, to your spirit of what you want for your life and what you want that to look like. How would you love it to be if there were no obstacles? I want you to take the time to write out what that picture, what that vision looks like for you. Because you have more power and control than you realize. We often just allow things to happen. We often don't set specific goals or have specific visions, and then things happen and we're like, well, I don't really enjoy my life. But you have that power. You have the power to create the life that you desire, that vision. You just need to create the vision first. God is a God of order. If we're not giving any instructions, then we get whatever. We need to be very specific. Suzana, did you want to add anything about creating their vision?
Yeah, I love what you've said. And you've nailed it. So the first universal law, so everything that we do is based on universal law, because universal law works 100% of the time. Just if I was to drop this pen, if I was to let go, what would happen? Would it rise? No. Would it float? No. Do we not know what's going to happen? Like, does something different happen all of the time? No. Every single time, 100% of the time, it drops, right? It works 100% of the time, even if you are ignorant. So if there was a baby standing on a balcony 5 floors high and it falls because it leans over and drops, the law of gravity is not going to say, oh, it's a baby, it's ignorant, it's innocent, I'll just let it float until mum comes or someone comes and saves it. It will drop, okay? The first universal law is order. And what Makini just said, is ordering from your mind, having order in your mind. You see, God, the universe, that infinite intelligence inside you requires you to lead the way, requires you to imagine, image of what it is that you want. And holding on to that image will then change your vibration. And then that vibration, which is also an emotion, will lead you into action. But it'll also start to attract what you want. But the first step is, what do you want? What would you love instead? So life might be feeling a little bit challenging. What would you love? What would you love now that you know that the whole universe would be out of alignment without you? What would you love? And I'm going to lead you into a bit of a meditation. Is that okay, Makini? Are we ready to go with that?
Yeah. Did you want me to just explain to them quickly?
Yes, go ahead. Sorry. Yes, please.
No apologies. Yeah. Before we do that, I see Trisha says the fear of failure and not receiving stops me. So, Trisha, I can tell you from experience and also, learning from Bob Proctor, fear and faith are both beliefs in the unknown. We have the ability to choose. It's about belief. We can believe and be afraid of not being able to do something or afraid of what's going to happen, or we can choose to believe and have faith that it will happen. And it's that energy, that vibration that opens you up to receiving those things. Sometimes we block our own blessings with our own thoughts. We often talk about external factors and external people blocking our blessings when sometimes it's us. So I just wanted to share that with you. With everything that is happening in the world, all of us, our nervous system is like being triggered. We have to find ways to self-regulate. Some of us have experienced, whether it be past traumas or, are dealing with present traumas. It's when we're in that state, it's programmed our system away from like connection and towards protection. So in a state of protection, survival is the only goal. The system is closed to connection and change. In a state of connection, health, growth, and restoration are possible. So Suzana is going to lead us into meditation to help us calm our nervous system, which will help lead us towards that feeling of safety and connection.
Okay. So just make sure you're comfortable. You might be sitting in your chair or lying down flat on your back. That's okay. Just make sure you're completely supported. If you're sitting in your chair, make sure your feet are flat on the ground. Make sure your legs are uncrossed, your arms are uncrossed, and you're completely comfortable and completely supported. Okay, we'll just close our eyes for a few moments. And anything that might be bothering you, any thoughts that come up, it's completely okay. Anything you have to deal with, that's okay. We'll just put it aside just for a few minutes. And we'll just get really present. And let's just sit in silence, in stillness. Relaxing your toes, your feet, your beautiful feet. They've carried you all of your life. They've walked through dark periods with you. They've danced during joyful celebrations. They've helped you run, ride a bike. They carry you every single day. Just focus on your feet and just allow them to completely relax. The tops and bottoms of your feet, your toes, completely relaxed. Relax your ankles, your shins, your calves, completely relaxed. Your knees, your thighs, all the way to your buttocks, to your pelvis. Just relax. Your pelvis is your creative center. Just allow it to relax. Relax your stomach, your solar plexus, your chest. Relaxed. Relax your lower back, your middle back, your shoulders, completely relaxed. Your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists. And feel the relaxation moving into both of your beautiful, beautiful hands and moving through your hand, top and bottom, all the way to your fingertips, on every single finger, including your thumb. Feel the relaxation. Relax your neck and your throat chakra. Just allow it to relax. Your voice is so important. You have a voice. Relax your jaw, your cheeks. Relax the intricate muscles around your mouth, your nose, your eyes, and just notice the muscles around your eyes. And just completely relax. Relax your forehead, your temples, just completely relaxed. And your beautiful ears, relaxed. Relax the top of your head, the side of your head, the back of your head, and now your whole body is just completely relaxed as you let go. You let go and let go and let go. That's it. Beautiful. And just take a few deep breaths, breathing in and then just letting go. That's it. And breathing in and letting it all go. And now just take your awareness to the center of your chest, your heart center, and just be. Feel the energy in your heart center. This is a sacred space. Feel the stillness, the knowing. And just open your heart center up. Open up to the message, to the truth of who you are. And the truth is that without you, beautiful soul, the whole universe would be out of alignment. The whole universe could not exist the way it does. It could not function without you. Open this idea up from your heart center. That's it. That's beautiful. And just let it in. Let it in. Beautiful. And from the space of your heart center, so stay with this beautiful part of you, the peace, the love, the joy, the gratitude from your heart center. What would your heart center, what would it love for you instead? Knowing that you are limitless. How would you love your life, your health, your business, your wealth, your family, your relationships? How would you love your life to be? Just feel it. Let go of everything else. Nothing you need to do right now. Just feel it. And from your heart center, who would you love to be? How would you love to feel about you? Knowing that you have genius locked up inside you. It's unlocked now that you know the truth. Who would you love to be? And what would you love? How would you love to feel about you? Just feel that beautiful feeling. Open up. That's it. You are infinite. You are pure love. You are everything that you want and need. It's inside you. You are perfect. You are the essence of life. You are the pure joy. You are infinitely loved. You are love. And now just bring up the feeling of gratitude from your heart center. Gratitude for you, for the life that you were meant to have. Gratitude for the challenges, because it's the challenges that stretch and grow us. Gratitude for anything that you want to feel gratitude for right now. And I am so deeply grateful to be co-creating with my beautiful soul sister Makini. And I am so grateful to have had the honor to be with all of you today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And when you're ready, just open your eyes.
Thank you for that, Suzana. Wow, I want you guys to let us know in the comments how you're feeling right now. How are you feeling after that meditation? You know, it's one thing for us to inspire you and to be able to bring these things to your awareness, but it's a complete other thing for you to take action. So what I'm going to challenge you to do is, not only do I want you this evening to take some time to create the vision that you want for your life, for yourself, but I want you to write it out. If you're not someone who writes, I want you to record it into your cell phone, into your device. Create a voice note in detail of what that vision looks like for your life. The action is where the results come from. So this is your opportunity to take action, to make steps towards your vision, to those results that you want for your life. Tomorrow evening or morning, if you're on the other side of the earth, we will be back here at the same time, same place. We're going to be focusing on overcoming fears and more. Makisha says, great, Suzana's voice needs to be on an app. I agree.
Thank you.
I agree. Trisha says she's feeling very nice. Yes, I am completely relaxed right now. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here and co-creating this experience with us, for participating in the comments, for sharing, for being transparent and vulnerable and open, for making this commitment to yourself. I want to thank Suzana, my amazing, amazing colleague, for co-creating this experience. And we do hope that you ladies have all been blessed and today's session has created an impact for you. And we do hope to see you back here tomorrow as we focus on overcoming your fears. You know, we did a survey in the group, and that was one of the most common things that you wanted to learn how to deal with. So we put together another amazing masterclass for tomorrow. Suzana, do you have anything you want to say?
Just thank you to you all. Thank you, Makini. And I hope today you've just opened up even a little bit to what's available for you. And please do write down what came through for you during that meditation. What is it that you want? And we are so looking forward to seeing you all again tomorrow. If you thought this session was, powerful, bring your friends along, or bring yourself, whatever you like, and we look forward to being with you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.